From 4 o'clock onwards, we have our the valediction of this particular training program, followed by launching of this CAST project in IRI by Director General ICR.
May I now request Dr. A.K. Manjari, Associate Dean, PG School, to kindly give a welcome address.
Most respected Dr. Trilojan Mahapatra, Secretary DARE and DG ICR, and Chairperson of today's function, Dr. N.S. Rathod, DDG Education, ICR, Dr. A.K. Singh, DDG Extension and Director IRI, Dr. A.K. Singh, Joint Director Research, Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, Dean and Joint Director Education, Dr. C. Vishwanathan, PI of CAST Project, distinguished dignitaries in the audience, Dr. J.P. Sharma, Joint Director Extension, Dr. N.K. Singh, Director NRCPB, Dr. R.K. Jain, former Dean, Dr. D.K. Yadava, ADG Seeds, Dr. Man Singh, Project Director, Water Science and Technology, the heads of the division, professors, team members of CAST, national coordinators of NHCP, faculty, staff, students, winter school trainees, ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of this launching of the World Bank ICR funded Nahep-Caast on genomics assisted crop improvement and management, and also the valedictory program of the first students winter school, which was arranged on the topic genomics of plant pathogens and agricultural important microbes during 19 to 31st December 2018. On behalf of all the institute staff, the director of this institute and the entire CAST team, it is a matter of great privilege for me to most profusely welcome Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra, Secretary DARE and DG ICR, and the chairperson of today's function, who has been a very kind source of inspiration to all of us. And sir, for your kind consent to grace this occasion, may I now request our beloved director, Dr. A.K. Singh, to welcome him with a bouquet of flowers, please. On behalf of the institute, we also welcome Dr. N.S. Rathod, DDG Education. Sir, your presence today is the testimony of your priority for agricultural education and human resource development. May I now request Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, Dean and Joint Director Education, to welcome Dr. N.S. Rathod with a bouquet of flowers, please. Now I request our Joint Director Research, Dr. A.K. Singh, to welcome the Director IRI, Dr. A.K. Singh. And Dr. Vishwanathan to welcome the Dean, Madam Rashmi Agarwal. I especially thank Dr. J.P. Sharma, Joint Director Extension, Dr. N.K. Singh, Director NRCPB, then Dr. R.K. Jain, Professor, former Professor as well as the former Dean and now the Emeritus Scientist here, then former Head of the Divisions who are contributed this, sisters, Directors of our sister institutes who have deputed the students and staff for this project, and D.K. Yadava, ADG Seeds, Project Director Dr. Man Singh, for gracing this, the valedictory function, and also this launching of this Nahep-Caast project. I once again welcome you all for this function. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I once again welcome all the dignitaries, and it's my privilege to briefly tell about this proposal. When the World Bank ICR supported NAHEP program came, Dr. R.K. Jain, our former dean, has formed a team members to develop a program for the institute as a whole. Initially, we received about 13 proposals from different disciplines, mostly discipline oriented. So only few students could be covered under those programs. So we thought to cover most of the students from different discipline. We formulated a project on genomic assisted crop improvement and management, wherein directly students from 16 different discipline can participate under this program at IRI. So all the initial proposers of the program, they kindly agreed to go on with this topic, and they have given the input to develop the first multidisciplinary student-centric program, which aimed at development of genomic skills through doing research in the area of genomic research and gaining training in the Institute of International Repute. So without taking much time, as most of the dignitaries present on the dais, they directly helped us from Director General ICR. During the initial proposal, we discussed with them, and he suggested that it should be mostly oriented towards students to enhancing their skills in the genomics area. And our Deputy Director General Education, he from the beginning, he supported our proposal, and our director, who was also a member of the evaluation committee, gave several suggestions to include many students from different discipline. And I thank all the team members as well as the higher authorities who guided the formulation of this important project. Sir, in this project we have 5 different objectives. And objective 1 is on development of online teaching resources, so that the genomics teaching and skills can be developed across the institute in the NAR system. And then with the guidance of our DG, we also thought of creating a state-of-art facility, common facility, which is accessible to all the students of IRA. Currently, we don't have any common facility which is accessible to all the students of IRA. So under this program, sir, we have already initiated work to develop a common facility wherein we will have all the genotyping and phenotyping system which is accessible to our students. And this, the other objective 3 is on the development of collaborative program with International Institute of Repute and industries, wherein our students will be sent for short-term training. And then enhancing the student and faculty skill is the objective number 4, wherein we give impart training to the students and faculty of NAS system. So to start with, we have already started one training program with Dr. Kumar and Dr. Annapurna as coordinator. That program is coming to an, already we have successfully completed. The 5th program is on to generate and analyze big data in genomics and phenomics of crops, microbes and pests. So for this objective, sir, we invited proposal from all the students. We received about 46 proposal, from which we have already selected 23 students, wherein they will undertake research using the funding from the cost, so that they will learn by doing, in addition to their training in different laboratories, in selected laboratories in India, abroad. So this is in brief about the program. So once again, I thank all the authorities who helped in formulating the program, as well as supporting the multidisciplinary team of program to work in proper way. Thank you, sir.
May I now request our Chief Guest of today's session, Honorable Director General ICR, Dr. Mahapatra, for releasing the brochure of Nahep-Caast. student will be useful for presentation of the student details.
Respected Director General and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, I'm here to briefly tell you the last 10 days the program, what we undertook in this division in collaboration with the Division of Microbiology. Sir, this program was started on 19th of December. Director of IRA inaugurated this program, and last 10 days we could conduct around 17 invited talks. That includes 5 talks from the sequencing service providing companies. The topic covered was starting from the Sanger sequencing till the nanopore technology. Those talks were well received by all the students, and we had around 11 lectures from academic institution, including IRI, NRCPB, then ISRI, and 1 talk from JNU. So in the forenoon session we had 2 invited talks, followed by an interactive session with the students. Then we facilitated the speaker to interact with all the students, and the students got all the benefit of the direct interaction with the speakers. And the all afternoon session, we conducted around 10 practicals, and those 10 practicals are ranging from very basic molecular biology tools, for example, DNA isolation, RNA isolation. Then the core point of this particular training program is we imparted training on the bioinformatic handling of the sequence data. So starting from how to handle a trace file right up to making the trace files ready for sequence submission for accessioning. So it was a hands-on training to all the students. The students profile, if you look at, there were 25 students, and 15 of them are boys and 10 of them are girls, and they represented 4 different divisions of IRA, starting from microbiology, pathology, nematology, and entomology. And in terms of subject, they represented both PhD as well as MSc. Right from the first MSc students up to the 5th year PhD students we have taken, so that is a heterogeneous group. And all practicals were conducted in a newly renovated laboratory in this division, and with all the facilities we could do all the practicals. So one of the highlight of this particular training program, perhaps it was very challenging for all of us, because the entire program for all the 10 days, it was webcasted and live, and it was available on YouTube, and that too live. So that put us in a kind of hot spot, and we were handling all the practicals and all the training, all the lectures in a very befitting manner. Perhaps we will take the feedback from the students what they really gained. And parallelly, we also conducted a kind of evaluation. The evaluation, what is called as the pre-training evaluation, just to know the basic knowledge about the trainees. And after 10 days, we conducted the post-training test, and just to know the kind of knowledge gain. I must really tell you here, rather we were pretty satisfied after knowing the results. So pre-training, the test, the score, the 25 students, the score ranging from, right from 1 mark out of 30 up to 16 mark. What I mean to say is none of the students could score 20 plus. So that was a bit shocking to all of us. And after this 10 days of training program, the same question paper was circulated, and they were asked to write the exam once again. And this morning they wrote the exam. When we really evaluated, to our surprise, none of them scored less than 20. So the top score is 30 out of 30, and there were 3 scores of 29 out of 30. So that speaks the kind of intensive training what we imparted to all the students. The day 1, we made it very clear, this is kind of military training. You have to be here right from 9:30 to 6:30, and you have to involve in a every hourly basis to all the faculty member. Perhaps this training was from the coordination and the director's point of view, we were pretty satisfied with the kind of results what we got. So with that, thanks for the opportunity. This is a very brief report about the training. In fact, I had an entire presentation in a PowerPoint. Maybe I can share it with other people later. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the trainee Ms. Divya from microbiology to give the feedback.
Respected dignitaries of the dais, eminent scientists and dear friends. So warm good evening to one and all present here. So I can say on behalf of students, a collective opinion of students, that this training was an informative course and extremely helpful to conceptualize the basics of genomics tools. This program has indeed provided some very concrete and able to do experiments which would help us to get past our hurdles in our research endeavors. There was a well balance of theory and practice, which was handled with good pace and orderly. The training has also given us a chance to work in a team, to develop a rapport, a prerequisite to work in collaborative projects. We also appreciate the concise, comprehensible, practical manuals which can be used for future references. Unanimously, we thank the entire CAST team for the painstaking efforts to cater the needs of students of IRA. In particular, we express a sincere thanks and gratefulness to Dr. Kumar, the torchbearer who has spearheaded his dynamic team comprising of Dr. K. Annapurna, Dr. Ramakrishnan, Dr. Govind Swami, and Dr. Deepa Kamal for sharing their expertise and gentleness. Before concluding, our opinion of students to CAST team is we expect such recurrent program to come up in future for minimum 15 days in order to have a sufficient time in troubleshooting the experiments by informatics tools. So with this message on this New Year Eve, I wish everyone a joyous, healthy and safe New Year with a fresh new start. Thank you.
Now I request Mr. Kuleshwar Prasad, a student in plant pathology, to give
Good afternoon, one and all, dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and my dear friends of IIA. I am Kuleshwar Prasad Sahu, PhD scholar from Division of Plant Pathology, and I am working under guidance of Dr. Kumar here. And I would like to say that before training and after training, what is my condition here? The mindset what the students come to the training, that definitely we are going to learn something. Obviously, I am working on the area of genomics, that is something I am handling, metagenomics and short sequencing. Something rudimentary knowledge I was having, but with this training I came to know the several do's and don'ts in the day-to-day lab work as well as in the genomics. That's the first thing what I know from the Sanger sequencing means the history of the sequencing, how it was started and how we are reached till now. That we can now sequence 30 MB genome in a single stretch. There is a sequencing technology that can give us 450 base pair per second of read. So we have reached far. Means from the initial to now we have covered a lots of journey that we came to know through the various lectures and the practicals. Different lectures were covered from the industry side, like nanopore technology, pack biosequencing, Illumina sequencing, and so many things. They displayed their sequencing technology with us. And more importantly, when we go to different conferences, these company people, they focus on business point of view. But here they focus as they are knowing that all our students here, they purely speak as like a teacher only. So they were purely academic here, and they means very basic points about the sequencing they told us. That was very informative to us. And moving to the practical side, from the DNA isolation and other phylogenetic analysis, sequence handling, curation and all those things were covered in the practical, which will definitely help for all of us. And I would like to thank all the course coordinator and the director and all the CAST team for arranging this winter school for us. Thank you very much, and wish you all a very happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuleshwar. Now I request Dr. N.S. Rathore, DDG Education ICR, for his valuable remark.
Good afternoon to one and all present in this hall. Most respected Honorable Director General of ICR and Secretary dear Dr. Mahapatro Saab, Dr. A.K. Singh Saab, DDG Extension and Director IERI. And again one more Dr. A.K. Singh Saab and our Joint Director Research, Madam Agrawal. I can see the many pioneers sitting on the first row. Dr. A.K. Singh sir, and he is a national professor, and he is a man of our field. Field in the sense that we are proudly always saying that a person who is having a basics and fundamental and theory and practice in one go, he can explain each and everything. That type of command he is having I really appreciate his efforts with what he made in our as a national professor. I can see Dr. R.K. Jain Saab. He is the man who has initiated this project. I still remember he was continuously coming to us, whereas this was our understanding. I can say today, proudly I can say that my Director General has given me this direction that at least at initial inception we should take all our ICR deemed university. That was a basic criteria. But he was so much excited to have this project at IRI. I said that only thing is that let us select a right type of a project and then we can proceed accordingly. And today you can say that a result of the work what Dr. R.K. Jain has done, he really deserves appreciation in this case. All people, those who are directly and indirectly associated with this project, they have done a really good job. And at least at that initial inception, I can say that not a single caste which we have sponsored. Total 8 caste project we have sponsored and 8 IDP we have sponsored and 10 we have selected for under innovation grant. But not a single caste institute has came forward with a proposal what you have shown it, because we want to increase competency of a student. Because our main focus point is a student. Although we kept some provision to how to increase the competency of a faculty member, but initially it was envisaged at initial inception, our main target was to focus on a student. I am really happy to see, and all people deserve appreciation. Dr. Manjaya is here, our Joint Director Extension is also sitting, and Dr. Man Singh ji is here. All people, basically now thing is that in this type of a training course, maybe possible that only few students got an opportunity, but you can have 1 more or 2 more, whatever may be the things. As far as the funding is concerned, I am sure even in presence of our Director General, I am saying that they have given me 155 crore rupees, but I am not in position to disperse this to the extent of 121 crore. Still we have got a lot of money in our, and we want that a ICR institute, at least ICR deemed university, should come forward and they should utilize this money judiciously, so that a real impact of our education will be available. And even this may be of a first step when you are doing a job for increasing a competency. Even identify some of the students, because now you are best judge. Out of this group of a student, you can identify some of the student which you can depute for the international training as well, because we have got a funding for international training as well. And we want that because what is happening, training a teacher will definitely boost up our system in a future, but training a students will become really a type of a brand ambassador for us. And once he will come back, he will be a person who will give a right type of impression to our agriculture system. That's why kindly encourage them, and let us organize one more training in case if some of are deprived of getting opportunity in very first training. That is my submission. Second thing is that if somewhere Dr. Kumar has mentioned that same paper was circulated, so that was not required. Basically some advanced version of a paper should be circulated. Let us identify what type of knowledge they have gained during this process. Knowledge, basically whenever we are designing any this type of course, you are supposed to have 4 important components. Very first thing is a knowledge, means what to do. Under this knowledge you can have a basics, fundamental theory and practices that you can elaborate in nicely. Second important things which is required is a skill, how to do. Somewhere you have used the word of that it is a integrated learning system. A type of experiential learning you have tried to introduce. Now there is a question that at the end of this 10 days or 15 days, I don't know what is the duration of this winter school, but basically at the end of this one you can judge that with the help of our training these students got so much of a skill. That is basically our expectation. Third thing which we expect in this type of short course is that how basically they can simplify the system, means a type of ability which they gain during this process. And finally last is the type of experiences, means how to increase the efficiency of the system. We have gotten many good scientists, those who have really contributed. Dr. Singh is also sitting on the dais. He is also man of our genomics, and you can have and I think you might have arranged a lot of a training course, lot of lectures in this. There is one more component which we are expecting, and that's why this proposal was awarded to IRI. It was only for a pro-cool. There is an arrangement. We have decided to have a promoting cooperative learning. That is basically, in short, we used to say it is a pro-cool. When we have given this idea to the MHRD, even now they are thinking to switch on towards a pro-cool. It is a type of arrangement which you are doing online arrangement of a all teaching assignment, so that anybody and anyone and anywhere he can do this exercise. So same thing we expect that let us extend this pro-cool arrangement not to your genomics, but in case if you can have some other component as well, you can extend this type of online teaching aid on any by means. If YouTube will serve the purpose, it is well and good. Otherwise, you can think how you can use a different digital solution in order to popularize this is our expectation, that you are supposed to you are supposed to expand and create a right type of awareness between a different stakeholder. Caste is not only meant only for student, but at the same time it allows some of the research, and research in the form of applied research for the development of technology. So I do expect that we will be definitely successful at the end of the day. And today is the last date of this year. Let us forget what you have done in the last year, because nobody is rich enough to purchase his past. I am always saying to my all staff member that everybody is committing a mistake. I have also done a lot of mistake, but I would like to realize that in future we should not repeat the things. But at the same time, there is one more English proverb is there, that you may be, if you will count, your age must be of a 21 year or so, multiplied 365 days. That thousands of yesterday has gone and millions of tomorrow will come in the future. But there will be one day only, and that is a today. And today is 31st December. Let us enjoy. Today is a date for celebration of a new year. So I do expect that let us have something, let us make some of the good resolution at the end of the day, so that we will feel that a World Bank funded project has made some impact in a ICR deemed university. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our chief guest, Dr. Mahapatra sir, for the chief guest address. First, Miss Aditi. Miss Anaya. Mr. Sorry. Anaya. I'm so sorry. Miss Baban Preet Kaur. Charishma. Darshan. Divya. Dipankar. Ilakya. Gurvi Reddy. Himanshu. Kavi Siddharthan. Kuleshwar. Lavanya. Mukesh Kumar. Nivetha. Ramesh. Sai Prasad. Ispeha. Shweta. Vinay Kumar. Chandramani. So now request Chief Guest of today's session, Dr. Mahapatra sir, for the Chief Guest address.
डॉक्टर चलता है ये Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Rathore, Deputy Director General Education, Dr. A.K. Singh, Deputy Director General Extension and also Director of this prestigious institution, Dr. A.K. Singh, Joint Director Research and also Head Division of Genetics, IRI, Dr. Rashmi Agrawal, Dean IRI and also Head Plant Pathology, Dr. Vishwanathan, and many valued colleagues, Dr. J.P. Sharma, Joint Director Extension, and also a little while ago, few days before, he was also Joint Director Research, Dr. Jain, previous Joint Director Education at IRI, and many others, no doubt to take names, Dr. N.K. Singh, National Professor and also Director NRCPB, and that is the sister organized institution director present here also. That tells volumes about our working together, and others from the Institute IRI, and friends and colleagues, particularly the faculty members who are present here, and students. I must congratulate director, joint directors who have been actively engaged, and also Dr. Vishwanathan, Dr. Kumar and others who have been actively involved, and first of all formulated this particular program, and thanks to Dr. Rathore who guided, and finally this program is in place at IRI. When I was contacted that I should come here, the objectives were twofold. One, that the CAST program at IRI is to be launched. So that is first objective, that we should launch it. And second one, that we have to interact and then learn about the program, and then also have this program culminating in distribution of certificates, and that's what we did. And in the process we learned what is that you could do during this period. This is a 2 weeks program, as I understand, 14 days, and if you want to extend for 21 days, I believe that can also be thought about. Overall, I think this national higher education project, which Dr. Rathore is actually spearheading and handling as national director, is of tremendous relevance and importance for the agriculture education system in the country, and also research system, because research and education you can't just separate. Little while ago we were discussing that there was a recommendation by ICR review team to separate education from research. But at the higher level there is a continuous pressure for CSIR to integrate itself with education, because the university system is dichotomized, diverged largely from research. So there is a reverse pressure operating, that the research system should integrate with the education system. And in the National Agriculture Research System, the ICAR and university and education division, they are so intricately integrated. The education program happens, and that is how we actually interact and interface with the universities. It's beautifully done, and these are examples for others to emulate, not to diverse education from research, but actually integrate more and more, so that we have more research and better education happening by way of this integration. And this is what the message that we would like to give, that by way of having such programs like CAST, and we give about 20 crore rupees, that's the earmarked one, and for IDP probably 25 crores. And there again, high class research is also envisaged in those programs. So this is for building capacities, and in the process enhancing the efficiencies of research at institutions, and building human resource for future in terms of frontier area research, and particularly in this particular case in the area of genomics. So that is the overall, and time is very less and we have to rush to another program. But I think Dr. Vishwanathan has given a background that with the fivefold objectives this CAST has been initiated. So before I proceed to that, let me congratulate everyone who was associated with this particular program to make it a successful one. And you must clap for that. We must learn when to clap. So I congratulate you, and also the second, I congratulate each one of you who received certificates. And after successful completion of this exposure of 2 weeks in the area of genomics, and particularly in relation to plant pathogens and agriculturally important microbes. So very important area, and you have received a certificate, and this certificate is not just to have it as an ornament that I have a certificate, but the learning that you have received, the lessons you learned during this 2 weeks course must be a prized possession for you in terms of their utilization, not just in terms of possession, but in terms of their utilization. So a prized possession, when it is utilized, then it adds value to what you are and what you are doing. And I believe that should be done. So not just learning it, but also utilizing this knowledge. And Dr. Rathore was telling that knowledge and then skill, and whether your skill is improved by way of this, you can evaluate yourself. They have done some evaluation. That could be always room for a further improvement in evaluation. You know, when I started teaching, I prepared about 10-15 pages of questionnaire to evaluate myself, how I am teaching. And there are hundreds of suggestions. And if you are open, then you can accept that and improve upon it. Even including my own pronunciation. I didn't know how to pronounce English. Even today I don't know correct pronunciation of English. And we have to accept our drawbacks and limitations. So once we do that, then there is plenty of scope for improvement. And that's what actually these training programs should do, and get their feedbacks. Provide a questionnaire, and it could be telling that your course was totally nonsense, it didn't provide anything, and you should have that kind of question set there, so that they are free to, and they don't have to really sign, and they can type it out and drop it in a box, so that you do not know who has said what, and then you can see what kind of comments are coming. So without fear, and also without any favor. So there is scope to obtain comments, and that's how we can improve upon. And that's how I used to do. Without any signature, people used to provide those. And also, even if somebody is happy to sign and give the comments, perfectly all right, so that's up to you. So I believe that should be one way to further improve upon this course that you have designed. And the second one, I would say, that you say that it's already in Facebook or whatever. I do not know where you have, what you have put, and I believe that will be available for others. But one is that not just benefiting the students of IRI alone. So I believe you have designed only for IRI students. So go beyond and collect people from other institutions, including universities, and enrich. And I do not know how many training programs, you didn't elaborate on that. I don't remember what all we discussed that time. So 15 in how many years? 3 years. So maybe you can increase that. So depending on the inputs received. So start with that, but I believe there is scope to improve and enrich as much as possible. With your faculty and all that. So I know these courses and all that we have been doing, but how do we go deeper? And then also using all animations available. For instance, nanopore sequencing, how it happens. All videographies, there are beautiful videos available. And can we use all that in our teaching? And I believe some of you have already used, so that there is a greater clarity of how things are happening, and they should be able to explain. If I ask a question, how the nanopore sequencing happens, for instance. So use those videographies and animations so that there is better clarity and complete clarity. Everyone goes with the complete understanding of sequencing, if we say sequencing today, or for that matter, big data analysis. Do they understand the whole concept? For instance, you say that machine learning and hidden Markov model, for instance. Dr. Rao is here. What is that? Whether they understand the concept without any mathematics background, and how do you simplify that? And like this, likewise. So when we talk about all this, I think one has to go to the fundamentals and root of it. And if we don't do this, it will be again another superficial treatment of the subject, and we will not be able to actually build that kind of human resource. Anybody who comes out of this course is 100 times, 1,000 times more enriched than with what he or she came to the course. So that has to be the objective. And I believe you are doing this, and as you go along, probably you will improve upon that, and you will have more of inputs coming from the students as well, and also the kind of resources available. And there are resources available globally, and those resources can be utilized very effectively in these training courses. So I hope you are doing that, and so these resources should be utilized. I believe there should be provision for the external faculty from abroad to interface with our students. So if that is so, if we are talking of genomics and big data analysis, can we have a faculty from somewhere, Cold Spring, Harvard, interacting with our students, and also faculty? Let the faculty who are interested to sit here and learning from this cast and taking lessons. So can we do this? I believe there is provision. And quickly let us do that. and identify excellent faculties elsewhere. The other day in the National Genetics Congress, one person delivered the lead speaker from Indian Statistical Institute, and talking about association mapping, for instance, and the nitty-gritties thereof. So we have people also outside the ICR system to be roped in to teach us and tell us the nitty-gritties, the intricacies, the complications explained in simpler terms, and we should be able to do that. And as we go along, we should be able to do that and develop massive online courses, and the MOOCs. And we have only small aspects, some aspects dealt by NAM, and some courses there. And you can find out, maybe in the net already, some of these are available on genomics. Experts talking about it. You didn't tell me, probably you have already explored that, I didn't know. So one can look at it, and whatever you develop, certainly you have already placed it, and have a kind of library there. People can register, you know how many are coming and then learning from there. So put that somewhere in a corner, and name it as a CAST program and all that. So we also know how many people are benefiting from that, and there's a record that who from where is learning from these online courses. And any student anywhere in the country from any university can open it up, even outside. So that will be record there. So put it that in that way that we have record of that. And when we plan this, when you are discussing, certainly we have to develop that kind of infrastructure and facilities which is open for everybody. When I was there and Dr. N.K. Singh and we all together working, our labs are open always and 24 hours. I don't think it is used to close at night. So they used to be all open throughout. And in fact, DNA sequencing, genome sequencing RISE we could complete because it was working 24 hours. Dr. N.K. Singh was the leader of the program. So 24 hours we actually have batch wise and phase wise. We used to plan one person will be working for 8 hours, so 3 persons set in such a way that 24 hours the sequences are run. So create that kind of facility. When you build an institute, that will take time, but existing area somewhere to identify, and that's open 24 hours, and anybody with some restrictions. It's not that people go and spoil the equipment and are not responsible. So keep it open, and don't take time. Within 6 months we put that in place and then declare that this is the massive open learning system we have developed. 25 courses, 50 courses. It's there in the net and it's open, and so many people are downloading, and that's a record, and that's a success story, and that's the impact pathway. That is how you define the pathway of impact. What would be the pathway of impact of this CAST program? This could be one. How many people have undergone training? How their skill is improved? So you have time to time, kind of questionnaires and their inputs. So that's one way of impact analysis. Similarly, the online courses, how many are downloading, how many are learning, and those who are learning, you can write to them and get their inputs, how they have benefited from these courses. That's another way of understanding the impact. So the impact pathway has to be defined now so that we understand the impacts, and then better way we analyze those. And similarly, create these facilities which are common facilities, all the requirements there at one place. So then we analyze and then say that how many people are using, and with the proper record. And then that's another way of understanding the impact of this and how it is actually impacting the research. Molecular bidding, when I started as a student, nobody was there to guide me that this is how you have to do DNA isolation, for instance. So when you're struggling 6 months, we struggle to have a good DNA isolated actually. So if you have actually now everything open, and then people are there online, you can give guidance to people also, and that advice for students should be also available. And through this CAST, can we really guide students in terms of the you say genomics of pathogens? If somebody has a question in Assam Agriculture University, can he or she write to you, Dr. Kumar, and then get some advice from you that how to really go about? Or a important microbe he or she has identified, and you go further for delineation at genomics level. So how he or she should proceed? So if we can create this, that will be another impact we create, and the visibility of IRI also increased in the process. And similarly, faculty. So I don't consider that we are perfect. Neither I am perfect nor you are perfect. No, none of us is perfect. How do we improve ourselves? So that is also inbuilt in the program. I believe there is already plans and schemes and then training and all that inbuilt there. And this will be happening as we go along. And let's quickly put that in place. We are talking of the total caste program which is operating here. And so that would be useful. In big data, I believe, Dr. Rao, we have tremendous limitation with regard to human resource in the country. Not many people actually understand. We give the data to companies, and that's in my experience. And what you get, we don't know. And what way they analyze, what data they include, what data they don't include, because it's such a huge data. When you scroll through your computer, you will be actually bored that it's a huge data. You can't just scroll through. So given that huge, vastness of the data, you do not know what part they have analyzed and what is that conclusion they give you. So unless you understand the fundamentals and also how to look at the data, what is that data talks about? If you don't have that understanding, you will be befooled actually. And we interpret, Dr. N.K. Singh does even now, that he goes through every data points and then takes quite a lot of time he spends there. And that is how these papers come out, and then they get also referred, cited. Otherwise, no paper is going to be cited. Who will read your paper if there is no substance there and things are not actually repeated? So friends, this big data is one area. I think there is quite a bit of capacity building needs and for the country, and telling people what to do, what not to do, and what to do with what data. So that's a big thing. Do's and don'ts need to be defined. So it's a good beginning. I don't want to really repeat all that, and you have quite a bit of plans, as I see, from this particular program that deflate that you have circulated, Dr. Viswanathan, and with Viswanathan being here. And certainly we should create a discovery center or innovation center. I have been talking about this when I was a director. And we should create a innovation center or discovery center, whatever you name it. But we should create that. And the 21st century IRI needs this. So 21st century IRI needs a high-class innovation center or discovery center, where every year we discover something of world class. World class. Repeating something is fine. We can keep repeating and telling that we conform to what has been already published. But then doing something, and IRI is capable of doing that. The best of brains come here. And those who receive certificates, they are the best of brains. Best of the brains of this country. Where from we will get better brains in the field of agriculture? So obviously, having those brains, allow them to flourish. Give them complete freedom. That's what I have learned from Professor Chopra, who was initially my guide, and subsequently he left, and then he went to Vietnam and all that. So I had to change. But he will not interfere. He will say, okay, you do, whatever. So no advice, overall framework. So you innovate and find and go and discuss. So if something is useful, then you are also permitted to do. So that's the kind of framework we should have. And that is how new ideas are promoted. So keep everything open. Ask students, give an overall problem and idea, and let she or he innovate. Come out with ideas. So ideas should generate. I created idea corner in ICR, but I didn't get any idea there. In ICR website you will find there's the idea corner. But I don't get any brilliant ideas there. But I believe there's plenty of idea storehouses here in the youngsters, and they will come forward once this system starts operating. And Dr. Viswanathan is the best person to guide this. We are having papers in Nature and then having so much of involvement. He is one person who just completely dedicated. You don't find that kind of people often. Completely dedicated in the new kind of breed of people. He is one who stands out. I am praising him before all of you because he stands out. So the kind of sacrifice he makes, kind of time he gives, leave aside people who are senior. Dr. N.K. Singh is here, others are there. I am not telling that. They are a younger lot. He is one who stands out. I believe that so with his involvement, we will have a successful program. I wish the program a grand success, and wish all the faculty members all the best, and also sincerely thank them for successfully conducting this particular training. And wish everybody all the very best in the new year. Happy New Year. I'll be again coming tomorrow for some time, I believe. So with this wishes, and I stop here. Dr. A.K. Singh, both of you, Dr. Sharma and Dr. Jain, still associated, and pathology, Dr. Banwal and Dr. Agrawal. So let's give a big push to such programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now request Dr. Vinod, Professor, Division of Genetics, to present formal vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone. Dignitaries of the dais and off the dais, faculty members and students. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this important occasion. First and foremost, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Mahapatra, Dr. Tilochan Mahapatra, DG ICR, and dear Secretary dear for his gracious presence here. Sir, your presence is always enlightening and enriching. And your suggestion that teaching and research cannot be separated, this is very valid, and that is why in IRI we are having teaching as well as research. And you have been one of the best teachers and best researchers, so nobody can understand better than that. The teaching and research cannot be separated. And good thing about NHEP is that
I have all scientists of ICR and faculty at IR.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Entire IRI, I say faculty and scientists, they are good.
All about IRI?
Yeah. All ICR scientists, yeah. Yeah. And yes, I'm talking about your session. So your sessions are very good, and the CAST team will take care of those sessions. Whether it is a big data analysis, it's use of online courses, and conduct of trainings, all these your sessions will be taken care by CAST team. So I express my sincere thanks to you for sparing time for this occasion. And I express my sincere thanks to DDG Education, Dr. N.S. Rathod, for his gracious presence here. And more than that, because right from very beginning, when we are formulating this project, he was guiding us. Whenever we needed any help, and in fact we contacted him several times, and any clarification was needed, he was always there. And because of that, we were able to formulate a very good program. And at that stage, many times we contacted coordinators of NHGP also, and Dr. Ghosh and many people were there, they helped us. So we thank everyone in ICR, those who helped us in formulating this project. And Dr. R.K. Jain, who was the dean at that time, and he was also he was always a constant source of inspiration. He was guiding us throughout this formulation program, and it is because of his efforts a team was constituted, and that team formulated a very good project that was ultimately approved by ICR, and now we are having this program functional. So now we are having this CAST here at IRI, and it is our responsibility that we make it a success. I'm also grateful to our director, Dr. A.K. Singh, for his. Yes.
Thanks to everybody.
Okay, because our DG is busy, he has to leave. So I thank each and everyone for thank you.